it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I am going to make a project using this stamp set. It's called Positive Thoughts. It's on page 23 of the mini catalogue. It's really pretty. I kind of overlooked it to begin with, and it's just gorgeous. It's not the largest stamp set in the world, but it's got some really nice sentiments. That's the word I'm looking for. And yes, I just love it. I just wish I could find the box for it. Oh, there it is. Hidden it. So we've got sending positive thoughts and feel good wishes, which could be either sorry or going through a rough time, or it could be I know you're going to do this kind of sentiment. Hugs, prayers and love is probably going to be the sad end of the scale. Friends like you mean more every year is just lovely. And then these really nice images. So this is the stamp set. But what makes it even better is that, in case you missed it, as of the 4th, so 2 days ago, we've got coordination products. And these go with, well, one of them goes with Nature's Thoughts dies. They're with Positive Thoughts, rather. It's Nature's Thoughts dies. They're £27. The stamp set is 20. So if you were to buy both, you'd get a free sale-a-bration item, because that's £47, and a sale-a-bration item is £45. So I do the maths for you. You don't have to do the maths. It's a great way of getting it bundled, and I have it on reasonably good authority that this and this will be in the annual catalogue in the new one coming up in June. So you may want to just have a think about that. But these are only available while stocks last, or the 31st of March, whichever happens first. So if you want these, or indeed any of the coordination product release, get it sooner rather than later. So we've got the Nature's Thought dies, Special Day dies, which goes with the lovely little raccoon, squirrel and mouse set. The Ladybug dies, which goes with the host set for sale-a-bration. Sending Flower dies. The Birthday dies, which go with the birthday stamp set from sale-a-bration. And Pleased as Punch, which goes with the Small Bloom Punch from sale-a-bration, which will be in the annual catalogue. The Tulip Punch, the Umbrella Punch, and the Heart Punch, which there's the 2 heart punches in the bundle. So really lovely. Love them all. So let me show you the project. Now, this is what I have made, and you can see that I've cheated on my mat and die cut from the middle, because the dies, let me show you the dies. I've got one out. There's a brain would be lovely. There's the butterfly, the feather, the flower, the large filigree leaf, which I am going to be using today. Then we've got this frame. We've got this, which I will be using. We've got an embossed feather, which I'll be using today. 2 little bits of kind of frou-frou greenery. I'll be using this one. And an embossed flower centre. So really great. The only image that doesn't have a die is the little icon, for want of a better word. So as I say, this is the project that I'm going to show you how to make. Inside I've got Friends Like You Mean More Every Year, and I think it's just really pretty. So as I say, the first thing, I've got embossing buddy everywhere. The first thing I did was die cut the rectangle out of the mat, because this is what I'm going to build everything on. This is going to be covered with a very vanilla mat. As ever, the measurements will be on my website, and the link to that is immediately below. You will also find in the bottom right hand corner that there is a button where you can subscribe, and that would be lovely if you felt you could do that. I'm aiming for 8,000 subscribers. I'm currently, as I shoot this, 7,888, so I'm getting there. But so yes, so we've got a very vanilla for the outside, we've got a very vanilla for the inside. I've got some So Saffron vellum from the Perennial Essence suite in the annual catalogue. Half a sheet of So Saffron cardstock, cut long and thin and scored in the middle. I'm only using 2 ink pads, and that's Soft Suede for the inside and Versamark. So, oh, and I meant to say there's also this little baby butterfly, which I've just added in the corner. That's one of the extra dies. So I'm going to start by stamping on the inside so that I know that's done, knowing my ability to forget these things. So I've got, again, Friends Like You Mean More Every Year. And just check that's well inked, which it is, and go for the middle, hold it in place for a short while, and there we go, beautifully stamped. Clean my stamp off before I forget and lean on it. Leftover So Saffron is quite dark still. So that is that. I don't need that ink pad anymore. So for the filigree leaf, I've got my stamp mounted up. I need embossing buddy on my vellum, Versamark ink, and if you're new to my channel, I always keep my embossing buddy on my Versamark ink, and I always keep my Versamark ink upside down because then it's ready to go. So just blow some of the excess Versamark embossing buddy off. And yeah, just there. And do press really well so that you know you've got a good impression. And that looks okay-ish. Bring in my gold embossing powder and dabble that. Yeah, no, that looks all right. It's always, it's never until you actually put the embossing powder on you can see just how well or otherwise you've stamped. But in this case, it's okay. So I'm going to pop my lid on and get out my trusty cheese board while I heat up my heat gun. So yes, as I say, if you would like to subscribe, that would be amazing. If you're in the UK and you don't already work with a demonstrator or would like to give my customer service a try, I would be thrilled if you ordered with me. I do have a very nice, well, I think it's a very nice customer reward program. You can find that on my website, which, as I say, is below. And here we go. I love it. Oh, it does it for me every time. So that's that. Just hang up my gun again. Now, it's always worth making sure that your embossing is cooled before you do anything with it. Otherwise it does smudge because the embossing powder melts to a liquid and it does then smudge if you smudge it. So the die then just fits over. Now there's this little slit here. You need to make sure you can see your stamping through that slit to make sure that it's lined up properly. But in true Blue Peter fashion, I have prepared. So I've got one, I've actually got two. I've also die cut this little strip in Gold Glimmer. I have die cut the little frou-frou leaf. I have die cut and embossed my feather. It embosses just on a standard plate, but if you've got the rubber mat, then it does a really deep emboss. And I've also got a butterfly. Now there are two sides to the vellum. There's the paler side and the darker side. I've gone for the darker side. It looked better with the card, but you can choose, obviously. So the first thing I want to do is to add this. This is going to be too long. I just want it to go from side to side. So what I'm going to do, it happens to be just the right length for this to be at the end. Now, if you want it underneath, it's also just the right size, so you've got two, you know, one bit at each end. Frankly, what I would do is cut it down if that were the case and use it on another project. But all I'm going to do for this one is just trim off the extra little bit that I don't need. So this little bit I don't actually need because I want a nice rounded edge. Then I'm just going to grab my really getting quite tatty craft tweezers. They're great because they just shut when you let go. And then a tiny, weeny, teeny little amount of glue just in a few strategic places. And the cross in the middle is, I always think, a very good strategic place. And then just there. Probably got too much glue on, but hey-ho, that's just, you know, the way I go sometimes. And then just pop that down. And if you want to make sure that it's straight, just line it up on your grid paper and just make sure that your two ends are even. It's not vital because we are going to cover quite a lot of it up, but it's always good to have a go at getting it nicely sorted out. Right, so vellum's always interesting to stick on, but because we have heat embossed, we're not going to see any adhesive. So I'm going to use glue dots. And the reason I say it's difficult to stick on is because you can see the adhesive through it. But as I say, heat embossing resolves that issue quite nicely. So I'm just going for this side because what I want to do is have it coming this way, but I want to be able to tuck things underneath. So I'm going to be going kind of there. And then this one I'm going to cut down. So I'm going to follow the line down and just cut away at the base. And I'm probably going to cut that down a bit more, but that's good for the moment. And I want that coming out the side, so I'll just round this a wee bit so that it doesn't look quite so obviously cut away. And again, I can take a glue dot because it's heat embossed, and I'll go there. And it's always easiest to get your glue dots off if you just twist a little. That's going to go at a very slight angle so that it's coming out to the side a bit more. And just there. Then this I'm going to stick on again with a glue dot, but where's my take your pick? Here's my take your pick. I'm going to roll my glue dot so that it becomes long and thin, and then I can pick this up at the base and just pop it down, pull, and that will excuse me, that will stick. I am going to cover it with a ribbon, so, or a braid technically, so that's all good. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I'm doing a lot of filming today because I need to get ahead. I've got a lot to get ahead with, so long filming day today, and my voice is beginning to show signs of overuse. So again, I'm just sticking that on the back of my butterfly and just peel it off. And again, I'm going to cover this with an embellishment, so if the adhesive is going to show through, it's not going to be a problem. And then the last thing to stick on is our feather, and I'm just going to go into one side and again twist it off, and this is going to get tucked in so that it's tucked in behind here but up, and then just stick that down, and then we've got all this lovely coming off, which I always think is a rather nice finish. Right, I'm going to use some of the braided linen thread from the annual catalogue, and I'm just going to do an Auntie Betty bow or bunny ears, depending on who you are. For me, it's an Auntie Betty bow, which reminds me I must phone my Auntie Betty. and after whom the bow is named. Pull it tight, and then I've, actually want that a little shorter, that's better, and then I want to spread my bows, and by that I mean just get the ends or the edges and spread them out so that it's a bit softer. And again, and then trim down my ends. Don't need those little bits, don't need those bits either. And then I need another glue dot and actually I need half a glue dot, 1/2 glue dot, and pop that on, actually down a bit. There we go. And if you find this is coming up a little bit and you want it not to, then you can just go in with a tiny amount of adhesive and just pop that there, and then hold it in place for a little while just so that that can set properly, like that. And then all we need to do is add some of the gold shimmer dots, which are still available. These were in the Christmas Time Is Here suite and are still available. I'm going to pop one there, a medium-sized one just up here, and then one of these teeny weeny tiny ones. Just get that moving and get my sticky end and pop that on my butterfly, so that will help cover up the adhesive if it does show through. Mine's looking okay. Don't need that. Right, this is going to get popped up on dimensionals, or in my case the sides of dimensionals, because that's kind of where I am at the moment. Actually, we'll go this side. Always use up your side bits. They are just as good as the bits in the middle, so don't throw them away. I have seen people throw them away and my heart goes I've been known to take them out of the waste bin at class when I suddenly see people throwing their dimensional sides away, and no, don't do it. You really don't want to do it, because they work just as well. One there and just one more in the middle. Oops, don't need all of that. Stick that down, pop that there, and peel off the backs. And then we're very nearly done, because we've done the stamping. So, yes, do subscribe. If you are in the UK, remember that shopping with me is a lovely thing to do, to sample my customer service. I would be thrilled if you would like to try that out. You don't have to, try it out more than once. You may find that it's great, and you may decide that you don't want to continue, but why not give it a go? That's almost straight, but not quite. So fortunately I haven't pressed it down too hard just yet, so I might get away with peeling it off and straightening it up a bit. That's better. Whew. Gosh, that was nearly a problem for me. Right, now, because I've die cut the middle, I'm actually going to put my glue on my mat rather than on this mat rather than on the back of my Very Vanilla, because obviously I need to make sure that it's going to touch. There we go. And now I can press everything from the back, bring in my card blank and grab a bone folder. A bone folder is a really good investment. I mean, I was lucky enough to get mine at Center Stage in Florida last year. Last year? The year before, gosh. Yes, it was November 2 years ago. But they're not expensive. And it's a great way to add something to your order if you want the next sale-a-bration item. If you are in France, Germany, Austria or the Netherlands, you can also join my team. And of course, during sale-a-bration, that is a particularly wonderful thing to do because you get extras. So do think about that. You can also join, obviously, if you're in the UK. But you get, in addition to the usual joining offer, which in the UK is £99 and in Europe is €129, and you don't have to pay shipping. In the UK, you get to choose £130 of product. In the European countries, it's €179, and then you get a mini trimmer, 48 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper, and it's a sample pack from sale-a-bration and the mini album, and also a stamp set of your choice that isn't sale-a-bration or a host set. It's amazing. There we go. I should say I already have team in Europe, so please don't worry about that. We are set up and ready to go. So there you are. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you will give it a go. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. And do remember, subscribe. Links for dimensions and all that good stuff are below. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.